Hello guys, welcome to another episode of Inside Electronics, and today I got yet another charger, but this time this is an original OEM Samsung charger. This thing I made a video a few days ago about another crappy little charger that is absolutely a death trap, which I actually used to test my LEDs and stuff like that. And this thing, I did the same thing for this thing, but I just found this in my attic. You can see it has all the dirts and things, and the wire has actually taken the shape of that because this thing was not in use for a very long time. This thing actually belonged to a Samsung, a flip phone that uses a Samsung proprietary connector. This thing was not micro USB, not mini USB or anything. It used this particular model used a proprietary Samsung connector. It was a flip phone. I mean, flip phone that this belongs to. And let's take a look at what's inside this one. And I already took this apart because it was too hard for me to actually get this in, because being an OEM product they actually do make it hard to take things apart. And to start with, let's take a look at the rating right there. So let's take this wire out, and there goes the back cover. So that is the model number right there, and it is rated for 5 volts at 700 milliamps. So let's take a look at what's inside. It's already coming apart. This is original. So the way it comes out is really simple. You see, they actually have a guide points for the PCB to slide into it. See that point and that point over there. They actually are designed to get the PCB slide into the case. So for taking this apart, we don't need any tools or things like that if you have good grip, but I'm going to use a tool because I'm thinking it's much more easier to just get it out. Get out. Come on. Usually when you actually make a video, things won't work as planned. I'm seeing some SMD come on, so I don't want to destroy it. Okay. Let me poke that out. Okay, there comes. That's it. So that is what is inside an original Samsung charger right there. You can feel the quality because they don't feel cheap. See, it even has the part number for transformer. For any cheap power supply that I have opened, it does not contain any numbers at all. Only the branded quality products put their part number directly on the component itself. So let's take a look at the bottom side, and it is made by Unitron Company Limited. That's really interesting. The charger itself is made by Samsung. It's branded Samsung, but it is actually manufactured by another company called Unitron Company Limited. That's cool. I will investigate about the company and I will link that in the description down below, or you can just check that out, Unitron Company Limited. But anyways, I'm seeing some SMD components. That has to be a switching IC, but by the way, look at the separation between that. That is massive separation. That is what a quality product should look like. And they even used the connectors. They are not using the soldering technique. They are using the proper connectors for it. And let's see what brand the capacitors are. It's a 330 microfarad, 10 volts, and a couple of them. And it is Samyang capacitors, and on the input side and on the output side they're using the Samyang capacitor. Because this thing is approved by Samsung, I'm thinking it is okay. And let's see what transistor they're using to actually switch the device. So need to find a name. That's the name. It's a PFM1N70 transistor. So F1970, that has to be a MOSFET. 1970 has to be a MOSFET. It is not a transistor, I believe. I have to look at the data sheet and I will link that down below. So everything is really simple. It goes, the input is actually made by that thing right there, so it slides in and out. If I use a screwdriver, you can see it slides in and out like that, so it grips the PCB very it grips it in a much better way, and they actually put a blob of solder to actually get the bite. These clamps will actually go on top of this particular solder pad, and it will get a good grip that way. And look at the anti-tracking slots they made. They are actually putting real thoughts when designing this thing. Look at the separation between these two lines, and they even decide to go for the anti-tracking slots right there. And there's a proper spark gap there, spark gap between the DC side and the ground, and huge separation. I mean, like, it's like more than a centimeter, I'm thinking, or could be a centimeter or more of separation between those output side and the input side. And let's take a look at the switching component, the main switching component right there. It is it PA14 or is it FA14? Okay, that is what I'm going to pause this video and I'll be back once I dig out the parts for this. So guys, I've managed to dig out the datasheet for that 1970. That actually came out to be a MOSFET. Let me turn off the light, and this is a 1.2 amps 700 volts N-channel power MOSFET, that right there. So they are actually using a very high quality product inside it. And the switching IC, it came out to be a proprietary name. It's custom designed, so there is no information available on that particular thing right there. But to speak of quality, these are very good power supplies. Even though they are really old, they are still really good power supply. The working is really simple. They are using the rectifiers to actually charge these two capacitors, and then the charge will be the rectified DC will be chopped by this IC right here, and the IC uses the MOSFET to switch the primary side and the secondary side. I don't know whether you can see that or not. The secondary actually uses double insulated wire right there. You can see that is a copper, and the yellow thing over there is the second insulation, so it's a double insulated wire. These are high quality transformers. And the switching, and it uses the switching transformer step down the voltage, and on the secondary side they are having multiple capacitors and a discharge resistor right there. You even have a little bit of snubber networking going on between those two. So overall, this really is a really good power supply. But let me tell you one thing. I'm going to pause again, and now I'm back, and I also took the time to actually dig out any information about the Unitron company, and it came out that Unitron Company Limited is a hearing aid manufacturing company, a hearing aid based manufacturing company that design and invest a lot in hearing based issues and things like that. And there is another company called Unitron Tech Co Limited, and that is actually, the website is actually in Korean, so I don't understand anything. So that alone will spark a lamp that this thing is actually made in Korea itself. I mean, this thing is made in China, but Unitron Tech, if that is the company that made this, then obviously Samsung has done that. So anyways, that's all about it. That's what's inside an original old Samsung charger.